I will never listen to the song You Can't Stop the Rain ever the same again. We'll get into it right after this. BMF Season 1, Episode 6, titled Strictly Business. Oh, man, let's get into it. Listen, happy Halloween, everybody. I'm going to try to thug it through with this mask on the whole thing. Probably won't happen, but hey, got to play the part. So, I always say this. These episodes keep getting better and better and better and better, man. We see Meech is walking into a store. He is trying to defuse some kids. Listen, these little motherfuckers wanted some beer. I'm like, yo, who the hell drinking beer at this young ass age? Anyway, he like, yo, I'm gonna get y'all some sodas. He walks back out, and you just see, before he even walks out, you see the kids like, oh. And it was so reminiscent of The Wire, man. If you never watched The Wire, or if you have watched The Wire, you know Michael K. Williams' character Omar was the big bad, and every time he came around, yo, Omar coming, y'all, Omar coming, and that's what the vibes they gave me. I don't know if they was paying like homage to Omar, but that's the vibe they gave me. You see the kids running away, you see Meech come out, he drops his beer, he's looking up, you're like, oh, what's happening? And then you see Lamar standing there with the shotgun with the trench, just like Omar. I said, oh. And all of a sudden, his shooters come out to kind of throw Lamar off, and then he take off running. And then you see Meech behind the car. Yeah, you better run. I'm like, bro, he almost turned your TV off. I got that from House on Campbell anyway. Yeah, he almost turned your TV off, Meech. Don't you talking rah-rah like that. Good episode, man. Good fucking episode. That I thought it was about to be over for me, but man, I love the fact that Lamar is on his Omar shit. It's crazy because Omar, Lamar, and listen, I said last episode, one of the reasons Lamar is likable is because you really haven't seen him really do any harm to anybody yet, and now you do. So I'm not saying I like him more, but he did a lot of shady shit in this episode. And we're gonna talk about it all. But let's take a listen. Let's take a look at how he looks in the Omar getup. Like, look at this. If that's not reminiscent of Omar, I don't know what is, man. We see Meech and Terry got a new stash spot. See how he put the cabinet back? I'm like, yo, that's slick. No pun intended. But that was pretty dope. They had the work high end, and they deciding a new way to kind of distribute their work. They're not going to be selling it like 50 boys like they were before. They're going to kind of be selling it wholesale, breaking it down into bigger pieces, and they kind of giving the workers their own independence kind of. Sorry, yeah, I couldn't do it. I had to take that shit off. It's just muffling my voice. But yeah, I like the fact that they always coming up with some new scheme. Every episode, they got a new hustle or a new way to get some money. Like they just brought a record store. Like, when did this come about? Like, when did this idea get conceived? It was the food truck, and then it was this. So I like how they kind of keep reinventing themselves to make sure they keep pushing the wheel forward, man. And it just kind of shows their forward thinking, and it shows that when they put their minds together, they come up with some great ideas. They really like a great combination of brothers. Meech is trying to get income. He's trying to get a new line to this one guy Tiny introduces him to. But the guy, I guess, kind of heard some dirt about Meech. Pat put some salt out, and he's hesitant to mess with Meech, being as though Meech is so young, and Meech is kind of making those mistakes. But he's making the kind of mistakes that's, if it doesn't kill him, it's going to make him wiser eventually as he gets older, because it's going to be like, all right, I've been through that. I know how to handle that. So those are the mistakes and the shit that's coming with Meech right now. Like this Lamar situation, if they prevail from this, they'll know how to deal with a Lamar in the future. But he's hesitant to deal with Meech right now. And he kind of tells him, like, listen, I'm not saying no, but just not right now. And, they leave it at that. We see Terry is trying to further his academics somehow because he's teetering on the brink of should I do this drug shit? And if I do, how long? You know what I'm saying? So he's kind of straddling the fence of, going to school and then being in the street. So he's trying to get something to further his academics. And he meets up with, I believe is his teacher or his coach, somebody. And he gives him an opportunity at being part of some college program. I really don't fucking know. I wasn't paying attention to this part. This shit bores me. But he tells him he got to come to some, I don't know if it's a fundraiser or like just a scouting thing. And Terry agrees to do it. He sees a lot of potential in Terry, as everybody does. They know Terry is very bright. We see Terry walking out the street, out the school with his buddy. There's some white dude, and they making little fucking funny jokes and shit. I believe this was the white dude at the beginning that got him the gun inside the stadium. Probably not, but I like the fact they made a Karate Kid reference too. He's like, "All right, Daniel, son," and then you see Lamar lurking in the cut, but then they got the buses blocking him. Buses move. You see that Terry got his bodyguards and shit in there. And I'm like, damn, he just bring these motherfuckers to school and shit too? Like, nobody noticing this shit? But you see Lamar get in the car and he's visibly agitated. He's like, hitting the steering wheel. Yo, this dude is a great actor, man. I'm telling y'all, man. The guy that plays Lamar is the best on the show. And I know people give him a lot of flack for this, but he's the best on the show. Don't you agree, Chucky? I agree, too. Told you. The mom is not coming out the room. She hasn't came out the room since the revelation of the end of the last episode where she found out that Meech and Terry were, well, she already knew Meech was dealing drugs, but now she confirmed Terry, and then she heard something about a body. So that threw her for a loop, and she's just, she's in like a state of depression, a state of shock. Meech comes up to the room with his sister to talk to her. And she ain't having it, man. She ain't fucking with nobody right now. She throws a picture of the boys. And I know where she coming from, man, because I got two brothers that happen to dive into the streets. And, one now is fighting a case that I'm dealing with. And I know it's just like, damn, like, did I mess up raising them? Because, I was once upon a time I was in the streets too. But at the same time, I graduated from it. And my brother now that's dealing with the situation is like, he don't have to do this. So it's just like, yo, what's the allure? What's the attraction? I'm showing you like 5 other ways to get some bread, but you can't put that on you. At the end of the day, people are individuals and they're gonna do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like the circumstances they had to where they couldn't afford certain things. I can force it. It's just like, I don't reward you if you're not doing what you need to do. And if you don't want to do what you need to do, then you kind of got to buy your own shit. And I guess that's where the kind of disconnect maybe came in. But listen, we see Tiny is staying at the church with Snoop Dogg's character, who was the pastor. And listen, we all knew it was something shady about the pastor. We just didn't know what it was at the moment. But it's something shady going on with him. Kind of find out he's housing Tiny for a small fee, kind of extorting Tiny a little bit. But listen, nobody messes with churches, so it's smart on Tiny's behalf to be staying there because, it's low-key. Nobody really thinks about it. But you look at the living conditions he living in, it's like, damn, these niggas getting all this money and staying in, like, little fucking small rooms with nothing. Like, it's crazy. And then we see he gives the money to Snoop. He gave him probably about maybe a couple of $100, and then then we see Snoop comes out counting the money, and he comes out and he gives fucking Mr. Flannery, the dad, $5. He said, "Yeah, that's all I got right now." Yo, I could not stop laughing. I had to rewind that part probably about 10 times. Am I the only one that did that? I rewinded that part probably about 10 times, and I couldn't stop laughing uncontrollably at how fucking funny that was, because that was some sleazeball shit. And then it's just like, that's how they be getting over on regular folk. Take your money. Oh, yeah, thank you for the donation. We appreciate it. They be having 20 racks in their pocket. And then Mr. Flannery's like, yo, it's no problem. I just do it for the... I'm like, yo, this dude just got a couple $100 from a drug dealer in the back that you probably would have seen if you stood outside. I'm like, yo, this shit is hilarious, bro. But Meech comes into church, be like, yo, it's mom. We gotta go. You know what I'm saying? We gotta go. Because he know the pop still has his way with her, and he probably the only one that could kind of talk some sense to her. Even though the pop gets on my damn nerve, this episode, he was kind of like I hate to say it, he was kind of like the voice of reason, man. You kind of see his side of things and how he was, where he coming from. You know what I'm saying? And it all comes from the lack of that. I guess they feel like they just bad parents. Like they feel, at least the mom feels like that. Like, yo, I'm just a bad parent. I did this, I did that. I don't see where we went wrong with that. And let me put this this fake, by the way. So this came with the costume. That's why I got it. Just going apart with the good games thing. So YouTube, this is fake. I know y'all, you see it, made in China. But we see him at the table, and the pops is grilling him like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? And like, why is she upset? And they kind of break it to him like, listen, she found out that I was selling dope with Meech, and then he like, why? And he pretty much telling him like, listen, I didn't have the shit we wanted growing up, and that's what we did. You know what I'm saying? And there was no knock to y'all, but we want this, and this how we get this, and you know what I'm saying? Sorry, that's my Ring doorbell. We see Tiny, the whole 12th Street, chilling out. Funny exchange between Slick and Tiny always. Favorite characters on the show is Slick and Lamar. Y'all know that. And Tiny is kind of squeezing in too. I like his character a lot. We see Lamar pull up on his rah-rah type shit. Yo, I need y'all to distract the bodyguards. While I go at meeting them. And Tiny like, listen, man, that sounds like a personal problem. Now, as we know, him and Meech are doing business. And one of the things that Meech told him was like, yo, you got to get the dude off of us and shit. Tiny was like, all right, we got you. So he probably put it into these niggas' heads like, we going, you know what I'm saying? We going to do that. Like, from now on, it's us against him. Because this nigga's like a nutcase and shit. And we see Lamar get bucked. We see Tiny pull his joint out, put it to his head. We see Slick, light-skinned sidekick, stand up for Lamar like always. He pull his piece out, then everybody else pull a piece, point at him. And he's like, man, you forgot I got a gun too. I'm like, oh, this shit bad. Then we see Detective Brian pull up. Everybody disperses. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. The exchange between Brian and Slick. This is stuff I live for. It's just those small little moments like that where it's just great acting. And it's not like a crazy action scene. It's just talking. It's just dialogue. But it's just a fucking skill set. This is acting. This ain't real. This is acting. But they doing a hell of a job playing these parts, man. Two brilliant actors. And I just learned his name. Thanks to my subscriber who told me. Steve Harris. Wood Harris' brother. Steve Harris. Amazing actors. Seen him in dozens of things. And then the guy that plays Lamar. So just that small little scene between them. And then the scene between him and Slick. Where he's like, yo, keep walking. And Slick says something funny about his jaw. All right, strong jaw or something. I'm like, hilarious. Just that little, that's what I like. That's the stuff I like. Yes, I like the action and the whole shit, but I love the acting. Motherfuckers that can act. These ain't actors. These you know how they got singers and singing? They was like, this is acting. You know what I'm saying? This ain't acting. This is acting. But anyway, he tell Lamar about the shootout early in the store, and he like, listen, you stupid, so you gonna be stupid, so you eventually gonna get caught, and I'm gonna be there to catch you and shit. So it's gonna be something between these two that happens, and we'll see what happens. But it's crazy. It's a good ass episode. We see Meech comes in the house, and the pop's like, yo, you just come in here as you please. And then Meech's like, man, you ain't been living here. And he's like, what, you think you could just, you know what I'm saying? The pop just being a pop. And I do like the dynamic that these three have. I like the little family dynamic because it's like real life shit is dysfunctional. It's just real life. It's just how families be. It be that real dysfunction. So it gets you a real tone. Like everything ain't peachy and everything perfect. So he goes to see Terry and they chopping up in the car and they talking about how they gonna distribute, what they gonna distribute. and he telling like, yo, give B Mick a break. And Terry like, listen, I'm not giving B Mick a break. And he like, yo, he been with us from day one. He deserve it. He like, man, nah. He was like, Terry like, yo, for that reason, I don't think I should give him one because he gonna think he on our level, and he really not on our level. You know what I'm saying? He really not. And I'm like, so I like that. I like Terry's thinking, but I see where Meech is coming from as well. So he's really like adamant about it. He's like, what the hell you mean give Big Mickey a break? Like he trying to look out for his man, cause regardless of what you say, B Mick is the one putting in the work. He wasn't handling the day to day. He yes, he went MIA, but his mom going through some shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't fault a nigga for going. His mom was going through some shit, but other than that, he been trying true. He put in the work for J Mo. He did what he needed to do. He didn't. He lied about the gun, which we find out or see later. We see Lamar and light skinned sidekick go back to their little hideout, their little bat cave, the Lamar cave, and he's still in this Omar get up, and they talking about how he talking about how he need to find the flares, and he's on the war page, and then light skinned sidekick kind of calms him down and tell him like, yo, you gotta calm down, man. You too hot right now. Tell him like pretty much, yo, you thinking too much, and you're not seeing everything thoroughly. Like that's the issue. And he not trying to really hear that. He like fucking it is what it is. But he winds up listening to him. He just like, listen, you gotta fix things with Monique, and then you gotta do this. B making Kato, still getting it in hot and heavy. I'm pretty sure he going raw dog now. You see them chatting it up. He like, hey girl, you got me trying to get me sprung. She offered to get the hot rag for him. I'm like, oh yeah, they serious now. While they having that, she walks off, and perfect timing. Terry winds up coming, kicking it with him, giving him some work, chatting it with him, and he doesn't do what Meech said was to give him the brick. He just sells it to him pretty much at a cheap rate, and just make fun of his chicken chest, and then they kind of reinsure like, yo, they still good. And as he's walking out, he sees Kato's jacket. So he kind of like figures it out that they smashing and shit. Yo, listen, this was a fucking funny ass scene, but this was a testament to my guys acting. Again, Lamar goes to Monique's house, and you think it's all going good. He's like, yo, I'm sorry. That was Terry. That was Meech's crazy ass fault. That wasn't my fault. Blah, blah, blah. She listening to him. And he's like, yo, can we be a family? And she like, man, if you don't get your nutty ass out of here. And he like grabs her arm. She's trying to shut the door closed. And then you just see him fucking banging on the door. Monique. Like his head through the joint. Monique. Yo, he looks super nutty. He looks super, super nutty. And he had this for like 5 minutes banging on his door. And then he calms down finally once he sees the little girl and the when he see her at the window, and then he decides to calm down finally. I'm like, man, this dude is crazy, man. But that goes back to what I was saying about the good acting. You know what I'm saying? Dude is a hell of an actor. So yeah, we see Terry and B Meek in a trap bagging up. And yo, what's up with the stash? First, it's like they can't know where the stash at. Then they can know where the stash at. So he got them all in the stash. Him and B Mick bagging up. And he telling them like how he gonna do it. And you know, him and B Mick always ragging on each other. Like, you know what you doing? And then you tell everybody to come in, and he just pretty much give them the spill. Like, yo, y'all gonna be independent contractors. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking like y'all the new little Meeches and Terrys. And they're like, oh, that's dope, whatever. And then he's like, they're like, shit, we do more than most than more people do by 11 anyway. And he realizes it's time. He realizes he has to be to this function. And while he's there, he's talking to, I believe, one of the scouts or recruiters for colleges. And he's getting asked some questions, and he having flashbacks to when Rock was getting killed and he was burying him. and he's just all distraction. He asks him another question, and then he starts thinking of his mom, the situation he went through with her. So like when I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So he can't focus at all. So he like, yo, I can't do this right now. I got to get out of here. And then he's leaving out, and then the coach or the guidance counselor, whoever the guy is, why you do this? He's just like, yo, you asked me for this. You asked me for this. What's the word I'm thinking of? You asked me for this opportunity, and now you saying that you don't want it. He was like, yo, you got to get your head out your ass, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And Terry really do. Like I said, it seemed like Terry is torn between the streets and then trying to get his shit together, like trying to actually build a better life for himself. But he's so good at the street shit, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what's paying the bills right now. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We see Meech and Tiny are meeting up, and Meech kind of telling him like, "Yo, your man was fake as hell. He wasn't messing with me," and he's like, "Yo, you better figure it out, or something gonna happen." And then Tiny puts him on to, I guess, a gambling game they go to, and yeah, Tiny just about his business, man. Tiny just like, man, all right, but he never really loses composure, and I don't know, it's something about him I like, even though I shouldn't, cause he a op. But I mess with him. At the house, we see the mom finally decides to come out the room because the pops is, I guess, playing one of their songs. And they come down and they have a discussion about Demetrius and Terry and talking about if they could be saved. And they don't feel that Terry could be saved. At least the pop doesn't. He feels like Demetrius is all the way gone. He feels Terry can be saved, but he feels like Demetrius is all the way gone. And the mom just like, yo, what can we do? And that's fucked up. That's a fucked up way to feel about your kids, man. They were just like, yo, where do we go wrong as parents? You know what I'm saying? This is back to what I was talking about. They were like, yo, where do we go wrong as parents? And it was just like, man, you can't really, not saying you can't put it on them, but they're like, yo, we did the best we can. And they just think Demetrius got a hold on them. You know, everything is with them is Meech. And they like, yo, he too far gone, but Terry, we could save him. And they like, yo, we just going to accept the offer from the lawyer, and we just going to send him to college, just get him away from Meech. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh boy, this ain't going to go over well. This ain't going to go over well. We go to a scene where we see the boys hustling. And you got Kato and old boy out there. I don't know the one dude name. I think that's the dude he was talking about when he said he ain't the sharpest tooth in the shed. Forget what he said his name was. Younger looking cat. But they pretty much all out there, and they decide to go get something to eat or whatever. And then Lamar comes out. And I wonder if Kato was the one that put Lamar on to where they was at. But he comes because they got some little youngins hustling for him. Like the youngins that was at the beginning of the show was hustling for him. And next thing you know, you see Lamar come up and was like, yeah, I'm going to need all of that. I'm like, yo, this is Omar, man. They paying homage to Omar right here, dude, because that's something Omar would do. Just pop up out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm going to need all that. That's something Omar. That's Omar to the T, man. Robbing drug dealers, man. So they wind up getting robbed, and then you see him back at the stash. I think he punched a little dude in the eye or did something to him. And they like, yo, how did Terry flipping out? Like, how did this happen? Yada, yada, yada. Him and old boy get into it, who I was just talking about. He get tough with Terry, and Terry about to put hands on him. And then Meech kind of diffuses the situation a little bit, man. I'm like, Meech is the voice of reason? But, you know what I'm saying? He was just like, yo, who the fuck you think you talking to? That's Terry's favorite line, too. Who the fuck you think you talking to? And it's like, dude, you a bitch. And you know for a fact, these group of guys have way more respect for Meech than they do Terry. Because Meech is kind of like out there every day with them. You know what I'm saying? And Terry be around, but he don't really be around, it seem like. You know what I'm saying? He more so in the business. And then I think Meech just got more of a rougher demeanor than Terry. So they come up with a plan. And they like, they was like, yo, he pretty much tell him like, yo, Lamar was the one that did this. And he like, oh shit, like for real, because he didn't know. And he tried to tell him like, yo, this gonna be the food trucks all over again, unless we come up with a plan or something to handle this. And he's like, yo, I'm thinking about doing something to lure Lamar. Like, I'm thinking about taking the security off me. And they're like, yo, what you gonna do if he come near you? He was like, man, I got something for him. And he showed that he got the heater. But they come up with a little scheme and pretty much just pass shit up. But Lamar is a problem for them, you know what I'm saying? And he ain't going away no time soon, I don't think. We see the father meeting up with the lawyer as well as the mom, and I'm glad that she's out the room now. I don't know if the boys know or not because I haven't seen them. They didn't show them like interact or anything. I don't even know if this is the same day. But they wind up meeting up with this lawyer, and they decide they want the money, but she's telling him like, yo, that offer has rescinded because you were supposed to get back to me in a certain amount of days, and they never did. And he like, yo, well, why wouldn't you notify us like closer to the day, which she should have did. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, is you working with them or something? Like, he pretty much calling her out like, yo, you sleazy as hell, just like your uncle and shit. And she get offended and walk out, and she like, yo, I'm gonna send my letter of termination. So he done fucked up the bag. Yo, Pop's always fucking up a bag or something. You know what I'm saying? First of all, you shouldn't even be meeting up with her. They ain't even your fucking lawyer. It's not your case. You said you was out the house, but here he come trying to be Captain Saver. I don't know. We see B Mick chilling. And listen, I forgot to mention, Terry asked this nigga B Mick if he got rid of the pistol that he used to shoot J Mo with. And B Mick was like, yeah. Lying through his fucking teeth. Knowing damn well he can get rid of his pistol. But he cleaning it. And he pretty much saying that the pistol helped him save his mom from an abusive relationship. I guess he, you know what I mean, put some work in. And then he's saying that it's like family and shit. And she like, oh, okay, well, that's weird. But I don't know why you wouldn't get rid of the fucking gun that you know what I'm saying? That's gonna come back to bite him in the ass. And he was cleaning that motherfucker rigorously though. They decide to go to Kato's house because she needs some shit. They wind up going over there, and it smell like a female house, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? It smell like dog shit. We see that Terry and Meech's younger sister has a boyfriend. Some little weird ass, cool. He a little square too. Nice little kid, man. He was raised right. You know what I'm saying? And he pretty much asks her out, and he like, yo, well, I guess we got to kiss now. Right as they about to kiss, Terry walks in and shut that shit right the fuck down. Like, yo, I think you a good kid and all, but you can't be in here, and shit kicked him out. And he tells the sister like, yo, what the hell is you doing, man? Like, you know, you're not supposed to have nobody. Like, what y'all doing in here? You can't do on the porch. And she was like, we can't have no privacy because bodyguards keep following us around. And I'm like, oh, this is foreshadowing somebody. I can read between the lines. I don't watch enough TV shows to know. And he kicked him out, whatever. I'm like, you're a little fast ass, man. This little square ass little dude, man. Poor little dude. He should have heeded that warning and stayed away, man. We see light skinned sidekick. My guy Slick is trying to pack some shit up, and he packed like 3 shirts and some other shit, and because he think Lamar is gone. Then he hear Lamar singing or playing the ping pong machine, and he just like, oh. And Slick trying to get the fuck out of here because at this point he just know Lamar is unstable and he's unpredictable. He could pretty much at any time flip at the at the blink of an eye. So he go and chat with him, and he tell him pretty much like, yo, we got to get the Flannerys, and he like, yo, you think that's a good? No, he like, I'm gonna take somebody close to them. They took somebody close to me, so I think the way to get to them is take somebody close to them. And he like, yo, you sure that's a good idea? You know what I'm saying? You want to make till this shit die down, before we do what we got to do or some shit. And you could tell Lamar wasn't feeling that. He started singing. He said, he looked at him and said, you can't stop the rain when it starts to fall. I said, oh shit. I said in my head, I said, yo, he better get out of there now. And he must have heated with that. He must have felt the same way. He backed up on out of there, like, looking confused as hell. He looked scared, like, oh, shit. But Lamar walked to him and said, You can't stop the rain when it starts to fall. I said, yo, this motherfucker is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And he asked him about Monique. So I think that triggered him even more. Like, you know what I'm saying? He like, yo, how shit go with Monique? And, you know, she wasn't fucking with him. So anyway, he tried to pack his stuff up. And he had his pistol. And I don't know why he just didn't have that motherfucker cocked or ready to go. Because he walked towards the door. And then Lamar stuck that thing right up in him. Like, I'm like, oh, not my dog. And I'm like, yo, if Lamar could kill him, nigga that was super loyal, yeah, he liable to, he don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because Slick was a super loyal dude to him. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he might have dropped the ball a little bit with the whole daughter thing. But hey, he got the kid back. You know what I'm saying? That's what he wanted, was to get her back safe and sound. But he poked him up, and then he just kept poking him, and he just pretty much just sat there and watched him die out. Singing, though. He was singing the whole time. You can't stop the rain. I said, oh, dude is a nut job, bro. And we just seen my man Slick slip away right on the carpet, man. Blood all over the Cortezes. And, man, rest in peace to Slick, man. If you've been watching my reviews, you know that I feel like Lamar and Slick, those are one of my two favorite characters. I like the dynamic they got. It's going to be crazy. And I love Slick's comedic timing when it comes to certain situations. It's going to be suck, man. But, hey, it's getting down to the meat and bones of the show. It's no more time. I don't know if this is a 10-run episode or if this is 8. So, I mean, if it's 8, obviously it make more sense. But, you know, they're going to start knocking off a lot more characters. But, man, I didn't think Slick was going to go out like that, man. Not by Lamar, man. That's crazy. Lamar, you ain't had to do him like that, bro. You ain't had to do him like that. We see B-Mick and Kato at the apartment. B-Mick finds a letter, which we know is from Lamar, but he thinking it's from another dude. And, you know, he's like, he don't say nothing, though. He played cool because he could have spazzed right out. But you see when they walked in, the apartment stank. I'm like, yeah, that's how y'all females be, man. You're disgusting. But she living in a shithole pretty much, and he probably thinking like, I'm fucking with a bum ass bitch. That's what I would have been thinking. I went to her crib, it's stinking there and shit. Females love leaving some garbage. You know damn well that garbage gonna be stinking. Nigga, take that shit out. And they in there kissing and shit in that funky ass house. I'm like, ugh. Kato. But they supposed to go out to some spot to eat or meet, some spot he never been to, and he like, we gonna meet, and you can tell she really like him, man. They really into each other. But he found that letter, so he kind of like suspicious now of what's going on. He don't say nothing. We see Meech and them at the dice game. They're having a good old time. Oh, sorry, allergies. So we see him at the dice game having a good time, and he breaking fools in there, man. He wind up taking actually everybody money, and old boy decides to fuck with him. They have that's a real ass conversation, you know what I'm saying? And he like, yo, so you just plan on taking over Detroit, huh? He's like, no, he said, you just want to take over the world. He's like, nah, I'm just trying to take over the D. You know, the world will come eventually, or something to that towards that, you know what I'm saying? But that was pretty dope that, you know, he kind of figured out a way to bust that move, because, you know, like I said, man, these motherfuckers is masterminds. They young masterminds, for real. See Terry come home, and mom and pops is in the room, and I'm like, oh, this ain't about to be good. And he know what's up too. He put it out. He like, uh-oh. And to this day, I still don't understand, why are you staying at your house? Why? Like, just move out, bro. But, you know, he love his family. Sorry, allergies is fucking with me. Something fucking with me. But they pretty much grilling him like, yo, how long you been hustling? He like, man, since me first started. Like, this is us. Like, this ain't just him. You know what I'm saying? And they just like, yo, why? And he pretty much telling them like, listen, there's a difference between, you know, certain fashions and milk and ketchup. He had all kinds of analogies. I said, okay, Terry spin that shit. But she said some real shit in there, man. And this what makes the mom such a great character. You know what I'm saying? Because the way she pushed things or the way she says things, and she's just like, yo, poverty is not a scapegoat for immorality. And I'm like, ooh, that's deep. You know what I'm saying? That's super deep. Uh, and fucking, that's good. But he trying to justify it, but he like, yo, if I don't sell it to him, somebody else came, and the pop's just like, yo, is you serious? Like, that's not an excuse. He was kind of dropping the ball on certain reasons why he was doing shit. Because at the end of the day, man, all that's doing is creating destruction to our people. You know what I'm saying? But the pops at the end give him like that touching, like, man, I love you, son. And you could tell which son he obviously likes more. He don't really fuck with Meech at all. At all. Back at the church, we see Tiny got him a little tenderoni. Got him a little nice thing too, man. She got a little skirt on. She a cutie pie. And they get it. They starting to get it on, man. He put his pants down. She hot right on that magic stick. Moaning and groaning and getting it in, man. I'm like, okay, dark skins is winning. She start feeling some blood. Then they get up, turn the light on, and they see that they got light-skinned sidekick. He got light-skinned sidekick laying in Tiny's apartment. For one, I don't even know how he knew, but Lamar is patient, so he got the drop on him, and he just sent that to him as a message. Like, if I could do this to my own man, like this was my man, think about what I could do to you. You know what I'm saying? We see the team decides to meet up at the grocery or the record store, and they come up with a new scheme for the work, pretty much telling them, listen, we was doing this wrong. We don't care how y'all move it, because that's what they was trying to like have them eat independent sellers, but they was still having to follow their blueprint or how they do shit. But now they like, yo, listen, y'all could do whatever y'all want. Just make sure you bring us back what we need. You know what I'm saying? Like, we giving it to you on consignment. Just bring it back what we need, and we can keep it. It's pretty much the same shit Pat was doing for them. However y'all move it is y'all. You know what I'm saying? When they was hustling from, they just had a structure. Like, yo, don't do this, don't do that. Now they tell them, like, yo, it's a free-for-all, because pretty much you on your own. And they like, yo, we not the 50 boys no more. And they coming up with names, tossing names around, and Meech comes back and was like, yo, what about the family? And they like, yo, that's not bad. That's not bad. So this is slowly but surely becoming the birth of Black Mafia family. B. Mickey and Meech have a conversation, and he like, yo, it feel like y'all icing me out, man. Y'all bought this record store without telling me, and y'all been busting moves. Listen, Meek. B. Mickey. They bought the record store without telling us, the audience, the people that's watching them. So I feel you, bro. But you know, Meech has to play it coy because obviously he's loyal to his brother and he don't want to seem like it's no rift. But he goes to Terry and was like, yo, why you ain't, I told you to give him a whole break. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But he also tell B. Mickey and reassures him like, yo, bro, you know you my nigga, yada, yada, yada. And he like, yo, why you ain't give him a break? He like, he ain't tell you I gave it to him. He like, man, you sold it to him. He was like, man, at a hell of a discount. But then he breaks it down. He like, yo, you gotta understand, it's just me and you, and he fucking Kato and shit. He tell him and shit. So we see Kato and B Mick in the car. They arguing, and I guess B Mick stood her up for that date they were supposed to go on. And she like, yo, why you stand me up? Yada yada yada. And he tell her pretty much like, yo, is you fucking with me? If you not fucking with me, I found this letter. And she like, oh, that's from my ex and yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, my nigga Lamar ain't your ex. But we see she's still playing both sides of the field. And she's trying to relinquish herself from Lamar's thumb, but by staying at B. Mickey's place. But she gonna wind up getting that boy killed, man, at the end of the day. She knows she hot. You know what I'm saying? Avoiding Lamar. I feel her though. You know what I'm saying? She should be, what's her name, man? But they have a little heart to heart, and then they start kissing and shit. So these moms really, really like each other, man. And hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? We see the sister is walking home with the weird dude from earlier, and they decide to kiss. They having a little kiss, and bodyguard standing there, and then she decides to run and lose him, which is what they do. And boy, was that a mistake, because Lamar pops up nowhere. And he's trying to grab the sister, and she kind of like struggles away. And then as retribution for her doing that, he poked little boy because the little boy tried to step in and help, and then Lamar wound up poking him up, man. And I'm like, come on, Lamar, why are you doing that? And he's saying sorry to the man. It's a kid, bro. Like but he's just trying to send a message. You know what I'm saying? Because he know that little boy is close to their sister, and now that's gonna fuck up dynamic. They dynamic and shit. The sister is going to kind of be mad at Meech and them because they had her boyfriend killed. You know what I'm saying? Because she remembers Lamar from the story. So I'm like, damn, that's cold, man. That's cold. Listen, once again, another great episode. No complaints. You see the bodyguards come running up later on. Everybody like, yo, call for help. And you just see the little boy sprawl down the street. He done for it, man. He cooked. Lamar done got 2 bodies in 2 attempts this episode. Good shit, man. Good shit. Further and further. Just keep moving the ball forward. I liked it. I like it a lot. So post your comments below. Let me know what you thought about it. Sorry. I just been in and I had to go trick-or-treating and neighbors had shots and shit. So I'm feeling a little crazy right now. But I'm all good, man. So I had to do this joint installments. Did the first part before I went out. Did the second part now. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let's talk about it in the comments. I also post a link from my video that's out. It's called Work Hard. If you could like, share, subscribe, or share it, leave a comment. I greatly appreciate it. All feedback is good, whether you like it or not. Till next time, peace, love, and prosperity. One.